Hello and welcome to my NFL Week 14 predictions. They are early predictions, as everybody knows at this point. So, firstly, we have Thursday Night Football, which is the Cowboys and the Lions. I have the Cowboys winning it by 1 point. I think it will be a very close game. I think the Lions are probably the better team, the much better running back. We all know that, but I don't know. Something about the Cowboys being away, something about it being on Thursday Night Football. I think Dak is going to do better this year. He got George Pickens. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is a scary wide receiver duo. Of course, Detroit has a more well-rounded offense and defense. Defense, yeah, I feel I can go either way. Dallas's defense is pretty good. I'm pretty sure they just got Hufanga from the 49ers too, so that's pretty good. So I think you can mismatch those defenses. But on offense, Frank Ragnow just retired, I should say, for the Lions. So I feel like the Cowboys can get this one. Then we have the Bears and the Packers. I am going to take the Packers at home. Um, yeah, if the Bears were at home, I'd probably take them, but the Packers still own them. Although I like the Bears this season, obviously it's going to be pretty close, pretty even record, 6-6 versus 7-5. So I think it will be a good game. Then we have the Commanders and the Vikings. I'm going to take the Vikings by 7. I think it will be a pretty high scoring game, which is especially surprising since both of these teams have good defenses. I like the Vikings defense better, but the Commanders have a pretty underrated defense. Um, I do like Washington's offense a little bit more, at least on paper. They look a lot faster than the Vikings, but then you remember the Vikings have Justin Jefferson. You're like, okay, they can hold their own with anybody. Then we have the Seahawks and the Falcons. I'm going to take the Seahawks by 7. I can see the Falcons winning it. I just think the Seahawks are the better team, honestly. That's why I'm going to take the Seahawks, even though they're not at home. Then we have the Saints and the Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Buccaneers by 10. They're at home. The Saints are the worst team. This should be an easy win for the Bucs. Then we have the Dolphins and the Jets. So I'm going to have the Jets by 3, pretty much only because they're at home here. But they split last season, and that's when the Jets had Aaron Rodgers. I don't really want to shit on Aaron Rodgers that much because I still think he'll play pretty well for the Steelers. Probably get him to a 9-8 season, but I mean, everybody pretty much is shitty on Aaron Rodgers, so why not join in, right? But I think he did what he could with that Jets team last year. It's not really his fault. It was just a shitty organization. Probably going to be the same this year, but I like Justin Fields. Then we have the Steelers and the Ravens. Speaking of the Steelers, now with Aaron Rodgers, which we all kind of knew would happen. I have them beating the Ravens here, even though they're away. Um, the Ravens are pretty good. I think they're going to be one of the top teams in the NFL this year. That's a surprise to absolutely nobody. But I think the Steelers can get the upset win here. I have them winning by 3. Then we have the Colts and the Jaguars. I'll take the Jaguars by 3. They're at home. I think they're the better team. I like their team all around better than I like the Colts. Colts defense, I think, will be pretty good this year. Don't like their quarterback room. Then we have the Titans and the Browns. I'll take the Titans by 3. We have a couple boring games this week. Another one, which is the 15 versus 16 seed. Nobody wants to watch this. Could honestly go either way. I don't know. I like the Titans a little bit better. Then we have the Broncos and the Raiders. I'll take the Broncos by 3, even though they're not at home. If you remember, I had the Raiders beating the Broncos in the last one, even though the Broncos were at home. So they're still splitting the season, just winning the away games instead of the home games. So I'll take the Broncos here. Then we have the um, Bengals and the Bills. I will take the Bengals by 6. I think it will be a good game. I just feel like whenever the Bills and Bengals play, I always favor the Bengals a little bit more just because their offense is that explosive. Obviously, the Bills have a much better defense, but I think the Bills struggle against the Bengals. And don't forget, the Bengals can play in the snow too. Most teams can't do that other than like the Bills and the Patriots and all that. I mean, I shouldn't say that any team can play in the snow, but look at the Dolphins and tell me otherwise. Then we have the Rams and the Cardinals. I have the Cardinals by 3. I'm probably a lot higher on the Cardinals than most people are, as you can tell. But I do really like the Cardinals' defense this year. I think their offense is going to play similar to what it did last year, but I think the defense is really going to carry them this year. So I have them beating the Rams at home. Then we have Sunday Night Football, which is the Chiefs and the Texans. I have the Chiefs by 4, mostly because they're at home here. It's also prime time. Prime time and the Chiefs and at home always are a good mix for the Chiefs. I don't think the Texans are that bad though. They've made it to 6-6. I'm pretty sure they won 4 or 5 straight before losing this game, so they're back on track. Then we have the Eagles and the Chargers. I'll take the Chargers by 3. Probably a bit of an upset here. The Chargers are at home, but as most people know, the Chargers don't have a home, so this is really just an away game for the Chargers, probably. But either way, I like the matchup for the Chargers here. I can't really explain why the Eagles are pretty much better in every category, but that's how NFL games go sometimes. It's just the upset. So I see the upset happening here. But that is it for these predictions. So see you